said, though, the major theme of this weekend is waking up. It's about being reborn. What does that feel like to my subjective experience and to my friend's subjective experience? Most people, what they're doing is their emotions are up and down, up and down, up and down. They walk into a situation, they feel like they're in competition with people, they're trying to figure out how to, when to say the right thing, trying to avoid negative social feedback, they're kind of shy, they're trying to hear other opinions, they're trying to see what's cool, so on and so forth. And again, their emotions are up and down, up and down. There's also a lot of very dense thought patterns in the mind. It's very, very dense. And believe it or not, it's actually sucking the life out of them. It's actually aging them too quickly. That density of thought, it's running down their health. It's causing sickness, it's causing physical sickness. It's accelerating aging unnecessarily, and so on and so forth. It also means, here's the big one, they cannot unleash genius. That's another, okay? The first theme of this event is waking up. Say this with me. Waking up. The second theme is unleashing genius. Say this with me. Okay? Another one is proactivity. Okay? Another one is enjoyment of life. Say this with me. Okay, and a big one is authenticity of your experience. Okay, so I really believe that a lot of our consumer culture has robbed us of the authenticity of our human experience. There's many people who lived for millions of years before us that I believe had a far more authentic life experience than we do in the modern age. I'm not suggesting to scrap it. I'm not one of these, people that's I'm not like gonna, go live on the farm or something. Well, it could be cool, but that's not my current game plan. I live in the Hollywood Hills, so clearly that's not the direction I'm taking. Okay, I do posh parties in the hills. I'm not living on a farm, even though maybe I'll do that when I'm older. But you see the point here, right, is that I want to show you how to have an authentic life. So we're going to be talking about your core strengths, how to maximize income opportunities, how to do marketing, how to be effective as a salesman, how to be an ambassador for your brand, how to be somebody who can be viewed as a living legend within your niche. All that, we'll be covering that. I'll be showing you all the same communication tools that I would do in dating, how to talk and talk forever, how to talk in a way that's high status so that people, men and women, all people are attracted to you, to make people want to network with you. I'll show you how to create systems and structures to bring people into your life, basically through a funnel to where all the best people are coming through your life, and then show you how to zap into core strengths so that you're focused on them, and then how to find people that can collaborate with you on those core strengths and make more money. I'll show you exact tools to release tension, to release trauma, how to get out of your own way, how to make it where your life is just in the flow and going for it, and a more authentic experience all the while. That's very, very important. You're gonna love that. It's just gonna be a better life. But more important, I wanna shift you so that your subjective experience is where you feel more present to the moment. You feel almost like an energy body inside yourself of when you'd be very happy, and you don't feel that you need as much. You don't need as much. Right now, you need too much, okay? And most of you have very hungry eyes. That's the problem there. You have very hungry eyes. Look at each other. You may not see it in yourself, but look around the room. You're seeing people that are scared. They're afraid of death. They're afraid of annihilation. They're afraid of how they stack up to other people. They're afraid that they're going to run out of energy. They feel scarcity, and they're just thinking how to get what they need. How do I just get fulfilled? Then there's these certain highly charismatic people that look like they've got it all figured out. They look like they have what they need, and they look like the source of energy that are beaming it out to other people. And you can see that right in their eyes. They're energetically, and as far as core competencies, on a completely different level. And that is what I'm looking to get you to here, okay, at this 4-day self-help event. I'm trying to get you to come here. Why do we work together? We work together to make these shifts. So that is what I want to see by the end of the 4th day, is these major, major shifts. I want you to have a practical game plan. Not that you heard from me in some video that you've got to try to memorize, but I want to do exercise-based and auditing-based so that you're really doing it. You're having the transformation. You're having the tools, and they're in your muscle memory. So that even if you're dumb, you don't even need to understand what I'm going to teach you. You can be dumb. It doesn't matter. But I want you to. I'm going to give you tools actually to wake up parts of your intellect you don't even know you have. It's going to be, that thing that I can do where I can always just come up with stuff. Do you guys understand the ability to which I can respond to marketing situations, business situations, product creation? Do you understand the speed at which I can create products? Do you understand how quickly I can look at the market, see where the market's going, determine it at the highest level, and just switch on and understand it and get it? For me, this is easy, very easy. And yet, for most people, it's like a mystery. They don't get it. Why is that? What is it? What, because I've had some kind of special superpower? No. These are functions in you, potentials in you that I want to wake up. You should be on that same level. There's nothing that I'm doing that you also can't do. You can do this. Just your brain is in a derp state. You're asleep right now. Even if you're awake, because I know some of you in this room are quite awake, you can be more awake. We can build it more, okay? I want to get it to where you're quick. You're mentally quick. Let me be real. Most people that I talk to, they've got hungry eyes, they're operating very slow, and they're derping. Their brain isn't aware of the what else moment. They're not tapped in. They don't know how to get to the next thing. They're completely monopolized. You know when you go talk to someone who you're intimidated by, and all you're thinking, where's your bandwidth? Where is it? Oh, what do they think of me? What's the right thing to say? And then you shut down. You have nothing to say. Then you look at somebody who's so charismatic in front of attractive people. Their dating life is crazy. They seem to always have the right words on the tip of the tongue. They don't struggle with it. Is it because they're smarter than you? No. It's because the bandwidth isn't being monopolized by all the negative programming that you have in there now. And these hungry eyes that you have, and this low energy situation that you have where you run out of energy so quickly, you're not feeding off of energy. It's almost like I gotta be like a chiropractor. I've gotta get you realigned here, okay? So a lot of this is gonna be realignment and waking up aspects. Because what I see in most people's eyes is hunger, there's a thirstiness. I also see them asleep in a half derp state. I see them not operating off their core potential. And a really big one is I see that you don't have systems. Part of the confidence that I have is from having built systems. There's systems in my life. I have social systems for my dating life. It's not just like, oh, I have self-love. It's that too. But it's also that I understand how to build a system. I understand how to build a system in business, in work. There's so many areas that if I was working in, I would be undervalued. But I understand what my core strengths are, how to create a system around that core strength so that people value me and chase me for my time and compensate me. Each and every one of you in this room has core strengths that you should be getting compensated at a high 6-figure or even into 7 or 8 figures a year income. But you don't know what your core strengths are. You don't know what to build on. And then what you're gonna do is you just gotta pay your rent. So now you're just gonna take whatever's in front of you, and then you're gonna get stuck in some job that you hate, and your main purpose in life is, can't wait till Friday to get off from it. What a nightmare. I don't believe in that. You know, a big reason I want to teach dating was I feel that there's like someone for everybody. I feel that everyone should get to have the experience in dating where they get to date around a bit, see who they like, get to have some kind of wild, kinky experiences, and then eventually meet a great partner. That was why I taught dating. The thing that I love about being good at dating is you can meet someone who's a great fit for you. You ever dated someone who's just the wrong fit, but you do it anyway because you don't know a lot of it, you don't have a lot of other options, and you just don't want to be lonely? You don't want to have to be stuck every night just by yourself, so you just start dating someone who you shouldn't be dating, and it doesn't fit. Versus when you're dating someone who it's an easy fit, it's just like magic. Part of why I want to teach people how to approach people, how to meet new people, is so they can go meet those people. I feel that also both genders benefit, all genders benefit. Why is that? Because they're meeting people that are their right fit. I've never wanted to date somebody, I mean, I'm cool to have a fun, wild, kinky experience with anybody that wants to share that kind of energy with me, but as far as who I'm going to date in a longer term, I want to be with somebody who I offer value to. I want to be with somebody who thinks what I have to offer is cool. I don't want to have to change myself and adapt myself to someone who I'm not in order to please somebody else. Now, I don't want to be lazy either, don't get me wrong here, but I want to be that aligned, awake, present version of myself that I describe here and meet somebody who appreciates that. My biggest kink in dating is someone who appreciates me. That's what I like. I like it when they really desire me. It makes me feel good. That's my number one thing above anything, above all else. Even if a girl's way less physically attractive, if she just wants me so bad, that's the biggest thing that's a turn on for me. The kind of intimacy that you're gonna have like that is hundreds of times better than maybe just someone who's very physically attractive and they're kind of just like letting you have access and you're kind of just like, okay, you know, right? They're like, right? That's not as nearly as fun as somebody who's just dying to see you, in my view, okay? Well, likewise, I feel that way in work, right? How much better is it for me to be sitting here in a room of people where you guys are all coming up to me and you're like, I can't believe I'm meeting you. This is so cool. This is amazing. You're my hero, or things like that. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, why can't everybody live like this? You can. You can be the hero for the people who you're a leader for. You absolutely can. That's what I'm here to show you. I'm not here to show you why I'm the cool guy. I'm here to show you and take you through a process where you're the cool guy or girl. It's about you. This is your experience. So that's what I want to do for you here. We're going to go through a process where it's a combination of a few different things here, okay? First of all, it's showing you how to have what I'd almost call an interfacing system, okay? What is that? You can have all the skills in the world, but if you don't know how to market them and interface with other people to show them they're out there, you won't get compensated, right? So the first thing is I've got to show you how to communicate at the highest level, right? Some of the best guys can't get a date to save their lives, as an example. Why is that? Incredible guys can't get a date. Meanwhile, some like drugged out club promoter, I have a lot of friends club promoters, so I gotta be careful here, you know, and they're awesome, but many of them are drugged out. And like whacked out, drugged out club promoter winds up having a 1,000 times better dating life than some amazing person that's adding value to the world. Why is that? Because the club promoter has an interfacing system, right? Inherent in their job is they're meeting a lot of people. Well, I'm not saying become a club promoter. Do that if you want. It actually can be pretty fun, but that's not what I'm suggesting here. What I'm saying is you've got to have some kind of system to interface with people. If you don't have your communication down, you can build all the skills in the world, but you can't interface with people. So we've got to get that down. Likewise, we've got to get down your core motivations. We've got to figure out what's driving you and make it where it's like a magnet that's pulling you along. I don't want you to have to feel tired all the time and feel like it's always this uphill battle. I want you to feel like you're running downhill, right? Look, if somebody's running downhill, they're always going to be running faster than someone running up a hill, right? So we've got to move it so it's not so painful for you and you're running downhill. That means you've got to get to your core strengths. From that understanding of your psychology, you're going to understand the psyche a lot deeper. That's going to teach you empathy. Now imagine you combine those things. You're a very powerful communicator and marketer. You understand what your core strengths are. You have incredible empathy and ability to market that or meet new people. You create systems around that. You're waking up and moving up in your spirit and internally so that you can enjoy it more and so that you can actually, well, the big one from this is that you can be proactive is really what it is. Because if you're in a reaction, like if we don't wake you up, here's the problem. If I don't wake you up, here's the problem. All that we're going to be doing is just feeding the biological drives and feeding the ego. There's no you that's being fed. We're just showing you how to get a better version of I'm hot, I'm cold. And I know a lot of you are like, that's just kind of what I want. Yeah, that's because you're asleep though. You don't even have a context for what else you'd want. So you're like, yeah, like just like sex and money and food and a better house. Sounds great, right? Yeah, let's get that. But let's make it like, you know what's funny? What's that old expression, right? Like to solve the problem, or to fix a problem, you don't solve it at the paradigm at which it was created. I don't want to just create a better external life. Let's do that. but let's make that as a manifestation of something that's happening inside of you so that it's aligned. Let's make it to where you have that stuff, but you could also be just as happy not to have it. And what that means is that there's something in you where you don't need it, you're not hungry. And what that means is that you're acting from proactivity. Say the word act from proactivity. Okay, you're acting from a proactive space. Acting from a proactive space, what that means is that you're not making decisions that were conditioned into you. You're not like, oh, I saw that in a magazine, I think that that's what's cool, so I'm gonna live up to that, because if you do that, you're a puppet. Okay, say don't be a puppet. Okay, if you're just getting something put into you from an outside source, in effect, you're just a puppet. You will literally burn your life out playing out somebody else's script. So we've got to get it to where, rather than you being in this kind of derp state of your bandwidth's all monopolized and heavy, very dense thought patterns, fulfill biological drives in this desperate way, scarcity, which by the way is messing up your, it's making it, it's like a knot in your back or something that needs to be massaged out, because what's happening is, when you're in that mode, you're not in your genius. So the irony is that this desperate hunger that you have, these hungry eyes, ironically is the exact thing stopping you from getting what you want. That's the irony, right? If you didn't need this stuff, you'd have the bandwidth to go get it. If you didn't need it, you'd have the bandwidth to go get it. Then people say, well, why would I even do it at that point? First of all, that's your lower self that doesn't want to die. Talking right there. But second of all, think about it. Many of you guys in this room would love to meet a more attractive partner, right? You would kill to do it. Think of how great it would be to come home every night to some incredible person who you can have intimacy with every night and just like, it's epic, right? Isn't it awesome? But then you meet that person. Does that super high level hunger you have move you towards that goal? No, it's that need that's the exact same thing that's stopping you from getting that. Because you can't even think of what to say. If you were just talking to like your niece, would you run out of things to say? You'd be joking around with her, you'd be having fun with her. You're not gonna run out of things to say because you don't want anything from her. You wouldn't run out of things to say. But you meet someone you want something from, your bandwidth goes, it locks down, right? It completely locks down. That's why a major theme in this event is gonna be control muscles versus release muscles. Control muscles versus release muscles. We wanna get it to where when you meet someone, you go into release. And what happens is you actually think less. And then when you think less, the game slows down for you. Everything's gonna slow down. To somebody looking at you, you will seem like the wittiest person in the world. It seems like you're thinking more quickly. But to you, you're in God mode. You're in slow-mo in that experience. So for you, like to the outside world, it's like, you ever see The Matrix where Neo's like, it looks like it's like bump, bump, bump like this, but then in his world, it's just like, he's just dodging the bullets like super slow. That's what we're talking about here. It will look superhuman to the outside world, but in your world, it's moving slow. I believe in your potential, and particularly your untapped potential. You have the potential to do this. I believe that most people before modern society live like this. You think that hunters weren't doing this? This would have been the most average, normal thing in the world. But yet in our society, it's like, really? Neo in the Matrix? Oh, wow. But to a normal person, that would have looked completely normal, okay? So what we want to do is we want to wake up a lot of potentials that you have, that you're unaware of that you have. We want to get you into your strength zone. We want to get you hardcore knowledge and skills. And we want to get it to where energetically inside, you're already feeling fulfilled. And because of that, you have way more bandwidth. And then you can apply that bandwidth into getting those things that you would have wanted now anyway. Except instead of wanting them and not getting them, the things you want, health, wealth, relationship, higher purpose, you actually get. So that dream life that you'd want, you actually have the capacity to build it, okay? And it's taken me decades to get on top of this to the point that I feel completely comfortable teaching it. I'm really right at the tail end of that kind of living hell that I had to go through of different experiments and things that I tried and really big mistakes that I made. I mean, I've made huge mistakes for sure even in the past 5 years, major mistakes that I'm embarrassed about. But going through those mistakes and having the knowledge firsthand, I can see where the pitfalls are on the road, so I can create a map for you and be like, okay, there's a pitfall here, a pitfall here, a pitfall here, and then I can show you exercises and understandings at a deep level. And because I've lived it and been through it, you're gonna feel that authenticity coming from me, and it's gonna make a big impact on you and leave a big impression on you, okay? So can you guys already feel some excitement building for this weekend? Yeah. Okay, could you guys give yourselves a hand right now? Because you gotta get ready to start. Okay, we're gonna go through this, okay? And this is gonna be a powerful experience we're going through together. Now, what I want you guys to do is I want you to take 5 minutes to just get up and meet some of the other people here. I know you've been doing it. Anyone that you haven't met yet, go shake hands with, meet each other, and just talk about your background or why you're here. Do it for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, because I want to create a group vibe here, okay? A lot of the networking and opportunities that you're going to do here is why we come live. So let's just start with that, and then we're going to crack into the exercises and start working on this. Take 5, 7 minutes.